Okay, so I am starting a new segment here on my YouTube channel, and I'm gonna call it Spilling the Tea. And the whole purpose of this new segment really is to educate young women on pretty much on how men think. And this is based off of pure observation and experience, okay? So I'm not going to be telling you who to date, what to text people and stuff like that. This is not dating advice, but I'm trying to give young women, especially when you're a young woman in your 20s and you're very naive and you don't have a lot of dating experience, you don't understand how men think. This segment is for you guys because I'm seeing a lot of young women who are getting into relationships and ending up extremely miserable because they just don't understand how men think and why men do the things that they do and say the things that they say. Okay, so the first topic that I really want to get into, because this is extremely important, okay, young ladies. The first topic is men. What you have to, one of the biggest things you have to understand about men is that they're always going to want to have access to a woman's body, right? They're always going to want sex. Like, that's how their brain is wired. They're always going to want sex, right? They want access to a woman's body, yours included. But the flip side to that coin is that men do not like women who give access to their bodies. They don't want a woman who gives men access to their body. They don't respect it. They don't like it. Okay. Now, as a woman, I understand. Trust me, especially as a young woman, it doesn't make sense because it seems extremely contradictory for a man to desire something so bad, but at the same time, not respect it. So in a moment, a little bit later on, I'm going to explain to you guys why that is, like why men think like that and why just the reasons behind that, okay? But first, I just want to explain to you guys this, okay? A lot of times, especially when you're a young woman, like I said, you're in your 20s, you don't have a lot of dating experience, you don't understand how men think at all. You probably got like a little boyfriend or something, or maybe you talking to this guy or that guy or whatever. What we have to understand is a lot of times the things that we think that they like are not the things that they really want and respect. Okay, so what I mean by that is, as a young woman, you might notice men like salivating, and you see men in comment sections on IG, and they're like praising a woman who's halfway naked and ain't barely got on no clothes, and BBL and all of that stuff, or ranting and raving over the OnlyFans models and all of that stuff, right? But like I said, men are always going to want access to a woman's body. They're horny, they want sex, right? But those are not the women that men actually respect, okay? So yeah, they might admire it. It looks good to them, and it kicks up that sexual drive. But absolutely under no circumstance is that those the women that a man wants on his arm. And it might seem like that's what they want, but that's only what they want sexually. They do not respect those women. And if you operate the way that those women operate, they will not respect you either. This is a lot of times what you're going to end up seeing happen. A man is gonna try it. He's gonna test you. He's gonna try it out. He's gonna see how far he can go. And a lot of times, if you end up giving into it, especially way too soon, and when I say giving into it, I mean having sex way too fast, moving too fast, letting him make those moves, and letting all that game that he's spitting at you and all those lies, letting him actually get away with that stuff, and you give into it, you have sex. 9 times out of 10, what's gonna happen? You're gonna end up in some kind of situationship, which is not a real relationship, half-ass text messages, every other day. He never calls you. He never asks you anything about yourself. You know why? Because he's already not interested. You've already satisfied that kink. You've already satisfied that curiosity. It's already gone. It's done. It's time for him to move on to the next one. But had you held out, or if you hold out and you don't actually give into that, he may act a little bit disappointed. He might actually even back all the way away. But guess what? He still respects you. And not only that, but you will still be on his mind, and you're going to still play a part in his mind. And you'll be surprised that same guy more than likely will cycle right back around trying it again. Because what you'll notice about men, especially like in the modern day man, well, I guess it doesn't really matter about modern, because if you're a young woman, you wouldn't know about the past anyway. But one of the things that I've noticed, at least, and you've noticed this, I'm sure as well, is that guys will complain until they're blue in the face about women, about the way that Western women are, and how so many women, are 304's and have high body counts and, blah, 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 right? But, men want sex, right? They want sex. But yet you see men complain consistently about the 304's and the women with really high body counts, because that's not the women that they want. You're always more attractive and more desirable when you're exclusive. When you don't give easy access, you are more exclusive and you are more desirable, right? So guys will sleep. A lot of guys will sleep with the 304. A lot of guys will, they'll complain about the chick with the high body count, but they'll still sleep with her, right? But they're not going to put her on their arm, and they're certainly not going to be a good man in her life, or they have no intention on having any real relationship with that type of woman. So then you're probably wondering, like, okay, well, if guys like hate that so much, they hate these high body count chicks so much, then why the hell are they constantly looking for sex? Like, why do they seem like they want to have sex with every single chick that they meet if they don't want to live in, like they don't really want to live in a society where women have high body counts, but yet they want to have sex with everybody? Like, something isn't adding up, something doesn't make sense. And you're right. But see, here's the thing. Men just don't think like that. Men are territorial in a lot of ways, right? So if a man, like, yeah, he may want to have fun, have his cake and eat it too, so to speak, have fun, have the fun chick. But at the same time, if a man is territorial, if he's going to claim something for himself and say that this is mine, then he wants it to be exclusive. He wants it to be his, like, meaning this is mine, this is for me. Like, every dude ain't had this chick. She ain't been around the block. That's the reason why you'll hear guys talk about, oh, she's for the streets, or she's for everybody. Like, right, the 304 is that's for the streets. That's for everybody, because that's not the man being territorial does not see that chick as being like, he doesn't want to claim that as part of his territory. Like, his territory is supposed to be for him. And I'm gonna give you guys a good example. So, like, I was watching this podcast on TikTok, and it was this Muslim guy, and he was talking about how, the women who are from his country, like, even if they were to be available for like sex or doing things that are haram in his country, in his culture. Haram means forbidden in Islam, meaning like having sex before marriage is haram. So even if a woman were open to that from his community or from his country, he would not do that. Like, with a woman from his community, he would only do that from a woman from like a Western woman, or a woman who's not Muslim, right? Because what he was saying is that, he respects the women that are from his country, from his community, and he understands the exclusiveness of the women who are from his society. So he's not going to take away from that, right? Because he respects those women. Now, he plans to marry one of them, but as far as doing the things that are haram, he's going to do that with somebody else's community, Because why? He doesn't respect the other communities, because the other communities give sex away very easily. So they don't respect that. And this goes across the board. This is not about a religion or not. This is just how men are. Like, men do not respect women who give away their bodies to men. They just don't. Even though they want sex, they want a woman who does not give it up, who does not give it to them. The woman who says no, the woman who denies him until he makes some type of real commitment, that's the woman that he wants. Because guess what? He knows that if you told him no, if you told him like, no, absolutely not, no, then he knows that you're telling other men no. And that's the woman that he wants. But if you say yes super easy, or you just so easy to just fall for whatever bullshit that he's feeding you, you just eating that shit right up, that little bullshit that he's spitting at you, he knows that the next dude or the dude before, the 10 dudes before him, in his mind, even if that's not what happened, in his mind, the 10 dudes that was before him, whoever they were, you ate they bullshit up too. And you probably done been in bed with them, and now he's classifying you as a 304. So I'm just saying, that's how they think. It's a territorial thing, and it's an ego thing. Like, men are extremely egotistical, even if they don't realize it. They are. I didn't want to make this video too long, but I want to delve a little bit more into the egotistical thing too, because so in the next segment, I'm going to talk to you guys about the reasons why men do not sympathize or empathize with your past experiences with other men. So if you've been done wrong by another man that you've dealt with, any situationships that you've had, men do not empathize or sympathize with that at all, and they never have and they never will. So we're gonna delve into that in the next segment. So make sure you subscribe to my channel, and yeah, I'll catch you guys in the next segment.